Today's video, we are going to talk about fake leads on Google Ads, why you get them, and what to do about it if you are getting them. There are several reasons why you are going to get fake leads from your Google Ads campaign in your account. I'm going to go through what those are. And then, of course, once you know why they happen, where they're coming from, you actually have a way to defend yourself. So with this said, I'm going to go through what all those different ways and why you would actually get fake leads in the first place, because a lot of people are baffled by this in itself, which is why I made this video for you here today, and a foolproof way to get rid of them at the same time. So getting into the content, there are three main reasons why you get fake leads to begin with. And there's technically a fourth reason I didn't also list on here that I'll also mention, which is PMAX. Okay. But going through these individual things here one by one, the first reason why you get fake leads on Google Ads to start with is due to click fraud. Okay. Click fraud, that is when your competitors are, if we're talking about search ads, are clicking on your ads to drain your budget and get you to not be profitable, so you'll stop advertising, and so they'll get all the leads to themselves. Or if you're talking about display network or YouTube ads, people that are trying to earn advertising money from their websites or their channels maliciously will have fake views, which will drain. That's another way you have so-called click fraud. In either instance, what these people do, whether it's your competitor or whether it's somebody trying to earn advertising revenue through AdSense, when from fake views, what they'll do, they're using software usually in either case. Sometimes they'll use outsourced people like in the Philippines and stuff to click on ads. But in either case, what they'll do to fake out Google's system, which Google, they could pick up on this if they wanted to, which is why they're actually, from what I've seen, only going to pay, they were in talks to only pay for, like form submissions, because click fraud's getting to be so bad on through Google AdSense. With that said, what they'll do to fake out Google is they'll not only just click your ad and go to your website and that's it. They'll click your ad, go to your website, and then fill out the form. And that actually does two things. One, fakes Google out to think that the fake traffic's real traffic, because real traffic sometimes fills out the form. So they do that as a way to fake them out. The other thing it does is whether it be the competitor or the person trying to earn more money from AdSense, they'll fill out the form so that when you go into your advertising account and see if something's working, you see leads are coming in. So you're like, okay, great, let's do more of this. Or let's keep doing this. When reality is, most of the leads are fake leads, and Google benefits from this obviously because you just keep advertising and bids up the cost of the ads for everybody, and so they make more money overall from all their advertisers. But it gets you, if the competitor's doing it to you, they could get you to drain your whole bank account and maybe go out of business before you ever realize what's going on. And naturally, if you don't know something's happening to you, you can't defend against it, so they can actually get you to pay for mostly fake clicks, and where they have the real clicks all themselves. For the advertiser that's trying to make money off of advertising revenue, that is AdSense on their website that they have or their channel, somebody who fills out a form, again, is going to make you think, oh, that channel, my ad placements on that channel, they're converting well, let's keep advertising on that channel, and then that they are able to keep selling you ad space on that channel. In either one of these cases, the form submissions are a key part of the overall scheme or scam that they are pulling on you and pulling on Google along with it. If you want to say Google's being scammed, but really they're still, at the end of the day, Google still wins for the most part. Otherwise they would take it more seriously, in my opinion anyway. Don't come after me, Google. You could get fake leads from Google if you have click fraud. And by the way, the one way that you know it's click fraud, why you're getting these fake leads, generally speaking, what you'll get is people typing in gibberish. For the most part, it'll be John smells, or, whatever, some weird crap, or some random characters or digits. Or a lot of times with click fraud, what they'll do to fake you out is they'll have people looking for jobs and filling out the form. That's another clear tell or sign. The fake leads you're getting from Google Ads are from click fraud. And it's always form fills, by the way. They don't do fake calls. Now, I want to stand corrected. Sometimes they do fake calls. And when they do the fake calls, what it typically is, it's also the job people. Hey, I'm looking for a job. And it'll be people that are speaking in Spanish, which for the most part, I'm pretty sure the way that they do this is they take your ad URL and they go post a job on Facebook saying, click through this ad URL because we have a job that pays $50 an hour as a cleaner, and they'll post it in Spanish, and they'll get all these Spanish people coming to your website calling, and then your stats, on your account look good, but really you got all these fake people clicking on your ads and draining your budget at the end of the day, which is very, very smart for the people that figured this out, that want to knock out, which it's basically lead sellers, big time lead sellers that want to knock you out and then sell the leads to you once you're knocked out of Google search. And they'll go into a market and clean everybody out through click fraud and then sell the leads back to the people they cleaned out. And they'll do this in 50 different markets, and they're making millions and millions of dollars doing this. So that's one way to get fake leads, so to say. Now, call tracking is the other way. Now, call tracking through like CallRail, call tracking metrics, what happens is you will use the call tracking numbers they give you, but that number, people have saved that number from the last person, the last customer of theirs, the last customer of CallRail who had that same tracking number, had advertised on that number for a long time. People save the number, and then later on when they go to call the number, after that person's been out of business, they call you, and you're wondering, what the hell, why are they asking about this totally different business? That's specifically what it's from. And to fix that is actually real simple. You just got to switch out the number. But that's another way to get fake leads per se, where it comes from. Another one is broad match keywords, or just targeting too broadly. If you're targeting, plumbing services and broad match, by the way, is absolute garbage. I only use broad match keyword match types very, very, very rarely. Out of 60 different accounts that we manage right now at our advertising agency, we got one that uses broad match legitimately, where it actually does something that phrase match and exact match can't do to lift the overall profitability of the account. And it's an obscure system where the search variety of all the different ways that people can search that turn into a customer are thousands and thousands of different ways. Therefore, broad match covers kind of like the fringe use cases and gets us more sales. So for the most part, you shouldn't be using broad match, to keep this simple. And the main reason is because it makes you show up for weird stuff that you're just wasting your money. If you target that keyword plumbing services, it'll get you to show up for what is a plumbing service, or pictures of broken pipes, or all this weird crap. Now, it has gotten certainly better than it was, but still, to this day, there's no reason for 99% of you guys watching to use broad match legitimately, because of the weird crap it'll have you show up for. And if somebody types in like free plumbing services, or in the roofing space, one of the things that happen all the time there is people will search for like grants for roof repair, because they can't even afford a roof and they need it. Well, if you're using broad match, you're going to show up for grants for roofing repair, which you shouldn't show up for, and that has nothing to do with what you do. They're going to type that in, even though your ad doesn't even say grants for roofing repair. Half of the people don't even read the ad before they click on it. They just assume whatever Google is showing to them is relevant, so they don't have to think or read. So then half of those people click on it anyway. They go to your site, and then they fill out the form or call asking for a roofing grant, and it had nothing at all to do with what you do. But that's where a lot of these fake leads come from. Broad match keyword is just the main way that you run where it would cause you to run your ad so broad that where you get these totally irrelevant bad leads. But it could be other ways that you target too broadly. It could be like you're running search campaigns and display networks also turned on. A lot of people fall for that. It could be if you're running ads on YouTube, but your ads show up on videos that, again, people are looking for grant money or whatever. And then for some reason, because it shows up there and you don't offer a grant, people, just aren't thinking, and they'll click through and, but that's obviously less common. The more common thing is on search ads, because people automatically think whatever they search for, whatever pops up must be what I searched for and what it'll help me, in other words. And I don't have to think or read. I don't have to read the ad. I don't have to read the landing page. I can just fill out the form and I'll get what I want magically. Finally, though, PMAX campaigns, if you're doing lead generation, you should never, ever use PMAX. If you sell something with super high demand and super low competition, I've seen PMAX be profitable for companies before, but only in that situation. And it still doesn't mean you wouldn't be better off running regular search campaigns in replacement of that PMAX campaign, because PMAX is a combination of all campaign types in one, right? Search, display, demand gen campaigns, shopping, YouTube ads. Okay. why do you want to run that when you're just trying to show up on Google search anyway? It's dumb, basically. Yeah, I said it. It's dumb. And people who think that they're going to run those ads versus run a search campaign to show up on Google search, they're throwing their money away. They're pissing their money away. There's no nice way to say it. You're pissing your money away if you're doing this, and you should stop doing it ASAP. Your ad, instead of showing up on Google search, which it will do somewhat, but Google loves selling ad spots that nobody wants. And if you're dumb enough, if you will, to do PMAX, okay, you're going to show up on a bunch of other websites that nobody else wants to advertise on, which can't possibly bring you a legitimate lead, because if somebody's looking for roofing services, they're not going to see your ad for roofing services where you're saying, roofing services here, and then get someone to legitimately click on that ad while they're reading an article about Kim K and turn into a lead. And so that gets mixed in with the regular search ads, and they basically take the search ads and they weave in the display placements in with it so that you can't really tell that your ads, your money is being wasted on these display placements. And then, but conversely, the leads are coming in from the display placements because the people that run the websites where the display placements are showing up, they're clicking through your ad to make to earn extra unearned revenue from their website, and then using the software like I was talking about earlier to fill out the form. And then now it looks like your PMAX campaign's converting well, but really you're just getting fake form fills from all the people that are going and running all the websites that you show up on, where bots are literally clicking through your ad and filling out the form on your site as a result of that. So, and I see it all the time. This is why I say PMAX, you're basically stupid if you want to run PMAX, because you're going to show up on all these other websites and it's going to skew, at best, it's going to skew the profitability of your account in terms of the health of it, because it's going to make you look like you have a lot of conversions when really it's just all fake conversions. And at worst, it's going to take your campaign and make it so unprofitable, that is, have such a high percentage of the traffic from that PMAX campaign go to the display placements that you're just not going to be profitable ever. Not now, not if you advertise for the next 15 freaking years. Okay? And I see people doing PMAX for lead generation all the time because, frankly, it's not your fault, because these Google reps are going to talk you into it because they're getting comped for every person they get they convince to set up a PMAX campaign, because Google wants people to switch over to more automation. And people think that they could trust Google automatically. Why would Google lie to me? Well, why does Google want to make, Google wants to make money. Or should I say, Google not wants to make money. They have to serve the shareholders by corporate law. If they have an opportunity to serve their shareholders while fucking you over, they're going to do it, because that's the law. And if they don't do it, they can actually go to jail. The customer is not a part of the equation once you're talking about a publicly traded company. So naturally, they just understood they have all this reputation, and anybody who reaches out to them from Google, whether it's a outsourced contracted agent in India talking to you, and that's basically what you got on us. Unless you have an account that spends $100,000 a month, people are going to listen and believe anything that they hear. It's going to pass through the critical thinking part of your mind and just go into the response part of your mind. And then naturally you don't get the results. And then everybody kind of has to figure this out the hard way, that you can't just automatically just do anything they suggest you do, because they're trying to make money. And all the ad spaces that do work, they don't have any trouble selling those. What they have trouble selling is these ad spaces over here nobody wants. So then they found a clever way to sell more of it. And they're just doing what they need to do for their shareholders. So if someone's going to think about your business, you got to be the one thinking about it, because they cannot afford to think about your business. Sure, they would love you to make more money. Okay, but if it means they have to screw over your business to make more money, they're gonna have to do it. This isn't speculation. This is corporate law. Go look it up for yourself. It's just like with the Enron. Executives go to jail because they didn't serve the shareholders. They served the customers, the employees, not the shareholders. And I know it's not a real perfect, or a great analogy here, but it's the same thing. At the end of the day, if you don't serve the shareholders and you serve the customers or the employees first, you can go to jail for that. Anyway, going into the solutions here. Find, to fix the click fraud, by the way, what you need to do, should I say, is you need to find the footprints in the traffic stream that you have that are different than other people that are in the traffic stream that you have to isolate and then filter it out of your traffic stream. So with that said, what you'll a lot of times find out, like with the Google search campaign, you're going to find in the search terms report, that is the things that people are typing in before clicking on your ads, there's going to be weird patterns to it. You'll find like some weird 6-word combination in there that, okay, yeah, they searched for it, that's great, but there's no way in hell more than one person searched for that in the last week. Yet, there was 16 impressions from that exact 7-word phrase. Well, you know that can't be natural. So what do? You block that term. The same thing could be said with on any other level of your traffic stream. You're trying to figure out what looks unnatural and then block it. On a YouTube campaign, it can simply be, because there's click fraud there as well, and we've seen it, we've fixed it, and had to fix it many times. There'll be certain channels that have fake viewers on it. And you got to be able to find the channels where the fake viewers exist and block those channels. And that's how you do it there. So that's the answer for click fraud if that's what's causing your fake leads. If you got call tracking and that's what's causing the fake leads, which you could easily figure this out, because if you don't have call recording turned on, you could turn it on in your call tracking account, whether that be call tracking metrics or CallRail or whatever you're using, and then find where the fake leads are coming from. And then conversely with that, find out what number, the tracking number they called in that caused that fake lead, and then make a log of it, and then find the patterns to it. Because you usually, with dynamic call tracking, which is what you want to do call tracking, by the way, there's a pool of 4 to 8 numbers that are used on your website to track your performance of your campaigns and so forth. And then of that, there'll typically be like one number in that pool where all these bullshit leads are coming from, and you got to be able to spot which one it is. Then you go to your CallRail or your call tracking metrics, whatever you're using, and you say, hey, this number right here isn't clean. I want it swapped out with another tracking number so my pool doesn't have that number in it anymore. They swap it out, and then your problem's magically fixed. You know, CallRail and call tracking metrics, they claim that when a customer quits, they have like a holding period where they're not going to reissue that number to somebody else for at least 3 months or 6 months. But still, if somebody that they dealt with saved that number into their contacts, and then they call it 7 months from now, it's going to produce a bullshit call lead anyway. So just know that. From there, okay, you can, to get rid of the broad match or your targeting that's too broad, causing you to have fake leads, you could run, like I mentioned before, phrase or exact match. I personally going to run exact match keywords until I can't extract a single more dollar of value out of it. Then I'm going to only then run phrase match, do everything I can with phrase match, and then finally at the end, where I can't get a single dollar more out of phrase match, I'll go broad match. And with broad match, you're testing it out in a separate campaign with a small budget and making that profitable before you spend any more on it. And a lot of times it just never will work no matter how long you try to run it. You could run phrase or exact match instead of broad match, or if you want to, the other way to fix it would be to add lots of negative keywords. And when I say lots, if you've been advertising for a long time, that means going into the search terms report and finding a few hundred negative keywords to add. Or sometimes we've added 25,000 negative keywords, depending on how much data we have. But if you go through the search terms report and you got, 300,000 search terms in there, and you add 25,000, that usually does a pretty good job. And the reason why we would do that versus just going to phrase match is you can have a poor account, and if you run it long enough with Google's algorithm, the way that it is, it's going to find you customers one way or another anyway, just through brute trial and error. So if you switch from phrase or broad match to phrase match after a few years and having spent a few $100,000 on those broad match keywords and then switch to phrase match, it's going to screw up all the lead flow you have, because eventually it'll figure out, despite the inefficiencies of how you have it set up, how you have the campaign set up, how to get you decent results anyway, or pretty decent results. Let's say half of what you have is good and half of what is bad after Google's algorithm testing those broad match keywords for the last 2 years. Well, you want to get rid of the other half that's bad. The smarter thing to do would be to add 25,000 negative keywords and to get rid of the other half of the bad traffic, versus switching to phrase match, because that's going to screw up. You're going to lose all the learnings that were built up on those broad match keywords, because they don't get automatically transferred over to the phrase match version of the same keyword. They don't. I mean, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, it don't. So if you have data and customers you're relying on from the setup you have, you don't have the luxury of just switching to phrase match and that be the way you fix it, because that's the easier way. But if you're just starting out and you really haven't gotten any results yet, well, then the obvious answer is just to switch to phrase match. Don't worry about the negative keywords. In fact, it's actually preferred because adding all those negative keywords, you're risking having some weird blockages and so forth. So the negative keywords, not only is it harder, but it's the less preferable option out of the two from the reasons I said. Now, PMAX, going into that, pretty self-explanatory. Don't use PMAX if you don't want fake leads. I see it all the time that people will be using PMAX in their account, and the conversions are like off the chart. They'll be like, 20 conversions a week, in the market where they're really going for 20 conversions a month. And 98% of those leads, a great little strategy, I have to give it to Google. It makes the PMAX look great, unless you really, if you're a novice and you don't know anything about everything I just told you, makes the PMAX look like it's working. They're selling you the crap traffic they can't sell to anybody else, while making the search traffic that you have that's probably also running too broad look like it's working as well. They got like a 2-for-1. But anyway, don't run PMAX. And I don't care what situation or what market you're in, don't run PMAX for lead generation. It may be profitable if you're lucky. You're in a high competitive or a highly profitable market with very low competition, but you would make even more by just setting up separate search and or shopping, or should I say search campaigns, not shopping, for yourself, because it's even more efficient and you're going to be able to get deeper penetration on what is working on top of everything else. But with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. With that said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you absolutely should, as the information I'm sharing with you on this channel is not only just free, but it's, I promise you, the best information you're going to find online, not even just YouTube, but online, about how to make millions of dollars a year running ads for your business, given the information you're getting is from someone who spends 40 hours a week just doing ad testing. And I have a channel on the side to just share what works and what doesn't work on the dozens of ad accounts that I'm personally doing ad testing on a regular basis. This doesn't sound that unique until you realize 99% of the other people talking about ad strategy at all on YouTube, on the web, are just ghostwriters, or they're not really running ads and they're getting second, third, fourth, fifth hand information, which is just BS. And it's not useful to you to really be able to make money with ads. So if you're serious about making money with ads, subscribe to this channel already. It doesn't get any better than the information I'm sharing with you on this channel. That said, I also have a blog. If you like the channel, you're going to love my blog even more. You can find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has step-by-step advice how to use specific strategies, which are our go-tos to get results for our clients, to guarantee their results, because we have to at our firm to get paid, with screenshots, with the step-by-step instructions to be able to bolt these mechanisms onto your account and for your business to be able to make money from them. You should definitely check that out as well. If you like the channel, you're going to like that blog. Furthermore, if you want somebody to just, if you were looking to hire a PPC consultant or agency that actually knows what they're doing, we have a PPC agency here. That's our core business. We do not charge our clients fees until we can get you more results on your campaigns. That is more profitability from your ads than you had before, in excess of a certain minimum amount that we would tell you up front, or we do not take a fee at all at our agency. We're the only agency out there that offers anything like that. If you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com, and I'll be more than happy to give you a free assessment and look over with some projections and see potentially what can be done with it. We don't take on just any client, but if it looks like a good opportunity for us and we can get you results, we're absolutely more than willing to work with you as well as a company. As a side, if you're not looking to work with an agency like ours, you want to manage your own ads, that's perfectly fine. If we've worked in your niche market though before, you'd do yourself a huge favor by taking the ad templates and landing page templates and campaign templates that work for your niche market already, that we've already spent years developing, and you can copy and paste the results we're getting into your own ad account and get those same results right away. We sell those for a one-time fee, and we've worked in over 100 niche markets, so the chances are high we've already just done all the work for you to figure out what works in your market. These templates work so good, you could start whole other businesses from scratch without even really having to overthink it. Whether you want to do lead generation and sell leads, flipping leads, which we've had several people do that, or if you were curious about getting into e-commerce, didn't know how, you really can't screw it up selling a product that you know sells with a set amount of ads that you could then sell the same product somebody that we have that's selling it in country A and sell it in country B that they'll never be in, and basically have turnkey results with it. If you're interested in any of those other opportunities, also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'll let you know what we have available. But with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.